Hello everybody. Now hopefully this week you can hear me. I've put a big post-it note on my laptop saying am I on mute. So after our silent movie last week of a tag on a tag on a tag, I thought we've gone very plain. I need to go a bit bonkers. So I have just finished filming this one. As I said to you, I'm on a bit of a roll. It's Sunday morning and I'm a bit excited about making tags. So we're on to our next one. 43. Wow, not many to go now. We're into single figures, the countdown at the end of the year. So you're going to need, if you've got one, a little crochet hook. We're not doing crochet. Don't panic. I don't do crochet at all. It's just going to help us a little bit with the technique that we're going to do. So we're going to do our buttonhole stitch, but we're going to use it slightly differently this week to how we've done it before. So I've got myself a piece of fabric. I get these from Hebden Bridge, near where we live, and there's a little brocante on the market, a little shop that does fabric. I think they make lots of curtains and things like that, but they sell their ends, which are great. So I've got this one, which I absolutely love the fabric and love the edge. You know me and my edges, absolutely love my edge. So it was £3 as well, bargain. So what I need to do, sometimes I like the backs as well compared to the front. You sort of get that reverse image. In fact, I quite like the back. Maybe a challenge. Right, we're using backs of fabrics. So find a fabric that when you turn it over, it's got a nice bottom. Like bottoms. Oh my goodness. I have a teenage daughter and we really have got teenage humour going on at the moment. So the fact that I've said the word bottom would be quite entertaining. So as usual, cut yourself your backing piece. There we go. That to one side. So I'm going to use the back of the fabric, and rather than what I normally do, which is put the fringe at the bottom, I'm actually going to put, see, I've started now saying the word bottom. It's very sad and very immature. I'm not going to say it again. Okay, what we're going to do is a buttonhole stitch, but we're going to fringe it. So you might want to watch the video and see what I do before you choose your fabric, because I think I'm going to use the curves on the pattern actually to help me with my stitching. In fact, I might just do it to start off with in that bottom bit there. Oh God, I keep saying the word bottom. Oh dearie me. Life is so funny. Right, okay, got my needle. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a blanket stitch, but it's going to be the line of the blanket stitch that we're going to create our fringe on. So the line needs to be at the bottom of our stitch. Okay, so I'm actually going to turn that upside down, because to do my blanket stitch, I always start at the top, so the edge that you want the line to go on, and then your thread travels across, travels across, and then you create your stitch. Now I'm actually going to make my blanket stitch fit the shape. There we go. So there's my first blanket. Now what's going to happen is that crochet hook is going to go underneath there. I've probably got a bit of a big crochet hook, so I might use my needle threader that I bent last week. Oh, well, it's last week to you. To me, it was just earlier on today. Okay. So you can follow your shape, or you could just do a straight line of blanket stitch. So if you just remember with the blanket stitch, this thread always goes along the line that you want to stitch in. Create your stitch, and when your needle comes through, just make sure that that thread goes underneath your needle. Okay, I've been wanting to do this stitch for quite a while. Not blanket stitch, I love doing blanket stitch, but doing stitches and then adding other things to them. So I just think it's really, really nice. Nice way to stitch. Okay. So as my stitch comes narrower, I'm just making my blanket stitches just that little bit smaller. Getting edges everywhere. Okay. So you just want to find a fabric. It needs to be a fairly thick fabric, but not so thick that you can't stitch. If you've got a really flimsy fabric, I would suggest that you do this in a hoop. The thicker fabrics are fine for you to do and just hand stitch them. But if you go for the thinner fabrics, what can happen when you're doing your blanket stitch, it can start distorting the fabric, and we don't really want distorted fabrics. Just pull my tail through. There we go. It's quite nice working on the back. You see all the different colours that have been woven in when they've made the fabric, which is nice. Okay, there we go. Right then, so I'm going to finish that off and just tie it off at the other side. Oh, you see then the other side looks nice as well. Oh. I keep thinking sometimes I should do a tag. Maybe I might leave that to next year. Maybe do a tag and then actually you have to present the other side. So it's a bit like a subconscious tag. Okay, right, so I've got a blanket stitch. And what we're going to do is we're going to create a fringed edge in each of the stitches. Okay, so you want to choose your next colour. So I've got, because on that side I've got a yellow, it's a pearly, and I've got a DMC that sort of matches. Now you can do these as singles, you can do them as doubles, you can play around with this however you want. I think I'm going to have both threads in my fringing. Okay, if you are using a DMC thread, the problem with the DMC thread is it's a twisted thread, so it stays as a round, and if we want to fringe it, what you want to do is, if you get your thread straight and just grab hold of one of the pieces and just pull slowly, we're going to pull each strand, so make sure it's straight, grab hold of one of the threads, so just grab hold of one of the threads, just pull slowly, pop it down. Oops. The reason for doing this is if we did this and we'd left it wound round, you wouldn't get a fringe. You'd have to spend ages fringing it all and going and unwinding it. So just by separating the threads, so just make sure it's straight. As long as you make sure it's straight, just grab hold of one, and I'm not holding that too tight, just gently. It does bunch it up in your finger, but once it's there in your finger, you can just get hold of it and just pull it out. As long as you've kept it straight, it won't get knotty. Okay, pull that one out. Then I've got my last one. Okay, so then you just gather all your edges. So I've got my 6 strands of my blue, 1 strand of yellow. Okay, so you can see now I've got more of a stranded thread. So all we're going to do is we're going to lay this down here, get your crochet hook or a little hook, whichever it is that you want to do, and I think that one will go through. Yep, so I've gone through with my hook, pop your thread through and then pull it back through, okay, to create a loop. Okay, and then let's work out how long you want your little tail end to be. All you do is grab hold of this bit here, pop it through the loop, and then pull. And you've created your first little bit. Okay, trim it, and then just do the same thing again. Lay your thread across, get your crochet hook or a little hook or whatever it is that you're using. See if I can bring this a little bit closer. There we go. So what I'm doing is I'm going underneath that stitch, pop these threads in the hook, and then pull it back through. Leave your loop. You can adjust it so that you're not going to end up chopping loads off. So I've sort of got that now. So it's a similar, just a little bit longer than the one that I've done. Get hold of those two edges, pop it through the loop, and then pull, and you've created another little fringe. Okay, trim, do the same thing again. Now you could try lots and lots of different colours if you wanted to. So I'm just going underneath that stitch, pop it in the little hook, pull it back underneath that stitch to create your loop. Just going to pull that through so it's a similar length. Get hold of your two threads, pop them through the loop, and pull. Now when you pull, don't pull too tight because you're going to pull on your blanket stitch. You're just going to keep going. Lay your thread down, pop your hook through, thread in the hook, come back through, create your loop, pop that through there. Oops. Gently just pull, so it just tightens it a little bit. And trim. So I've run out of thread now. So that's what we're going to be doing with this one now. What I could do, and I might do, I haven't decided yet, I could then do ones that follow the pattern. I could have one there, or I could just leave it. It's quite a nice piece of fabric actually, just with the fringing at the bottom. I could play around with different colours, so I'm not sure whether I am or I'm not going to. I quite like it just at the bottom. I quite like the back of the fabric just with the fringing on the bottom. Just a little bit different. But part of me just think maybe I need a little bit, maybe in that middle gold one, I might do a little fringe that maybe travels around there. So that's what we're doing this week. Fringed edges. Hopefully the sound has worked. I've just double checked and the sound is here, so it's not a silent movie this week. So hopefully you've enjoyed that, and I can't wait to see your fringes. See you soon.